What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. How to prevent being intimidated when you're going to the gym. This is something I'm actually energized to talk about because, in my experience as a health club manager, personal trainer, someone who did gym sales as well, I would speak to so many people whose largest obstacle to making a decision to start working out and start being consistent and taking charge of their health and fitness was the fact that they felt very intimidated about going into the gym and working out. There was a lot of self consciousness going on because people would think that everybody in the gym would kind of be focusing on them, especially if they felt that they were out of shape compared to everybody else in the gym. They'd be very concerned about a judgmental attitude coming from other people. And they'd also feel a little bit insecure about not knowing what they're doing as far as how to work out, how to use the equipment. And they just didn't want to be embarrassed by people thinking that they had no clue what was going on. And I'll say one thing that I've noticed consistently from being at five or six different health clubs is that the majority of people in the health club are actually there to support you. They're there to help you with any questions that you have. They're there to spot you if you need someone to help you lift some additional weight. I've really seen very few exceptions to where the gym wasn't a supportive place where people are all having the same type of goals and are kind of all on the same type of path. So I think first and foremost, it may not be a reality that the people in the gym are wanting to be against you in type of way or judge you in any type of way. And you'll find it's the opposite when you actually start going to the gym and making connections and asking people for help. So I'd always recommend, if you are that person, start with whoever got you involved in the health club initially. Whether it's a salesperson or a personal trainer, have somebody there who you could go to who you know is there to support you and answer any questions that you have. That way, you could have someone kind of navigate the gym with you and you don't have to feel as if you're all alone. I know that from my experience, those people are always there to help you. And yeah, sometimes they are also looking for ways that they can upsell you for personal training or whatever it may be. But even outside of that, they're really there to make sure that you're a part of that health club. Because if you're a part of that health club and you're telling people about your experience and you're having a transformation, it's only going to benefit them in the long haul. So whether you do extended services or not, it's going to help them and help you to be a part of the process and to stick around as long as possible. The second thing that I would recommend is on the more practical aspect is to try to pick the quiet times to go into the health club until you're at that point where you feel more comfortable. Typically, right after the morning rush, around 11 o'clock, is usually quieter. Right after the evening rush, around 7 o'clock, is also quieter. And then the weekends are usually the quietest time. It usually starts Monday, because everybody wants to start fresh on Monday. Monday gets extremely busy. Then it kind of filters down to Friday. You get a little bit of a peak Saturday morning, and then Sundays are usually quiet. So you could find a time outside of those peak hour windows. It may serve you to choose that. That way it'll be a little bit quieter. You don't have to deal with as much noise and as much people, and you won't feel like there's as many eyeballs on you while you're getting started. And then the third tip that I'll say is much more of a mindset thing, which is just understanding that everybody there is trying to do the same thing. And what's funny about the gym, in my experience, is even with the people who are actually in pretty good shape, they're all very they all have the tendency to be self conscious, including myself. Don't let me act like I'm anybody better or anybody different. No matter how far along you get, you're always thinking that you have a ways to go and you're always trying to improve yourself. And so you're kind of self conscious and self focused while you're there to even notice what's going on with another person. Unless I hear somebody clanging and banging or doing something very loud and overt. Typically, I just have my headphones on and I'm focused on doing my own thing. And I think the majority of the members are actually the exact same way. They're not looking at where they are, they're looking at where it is that they're trying to go. So they're thinking that they have a lot of room to improve here as well. I actually heard Ice-T say it in an interview a long time ago, but he said it to me perfectly. He said, it was an analogy to life, but essentially what he said is life is just like being in that gym. If you look to the right of you, you'll see somebody who you wish you were like, who had the physique and everything that you were looking for. And if you look to the left, you'd see someone who would actually kill to be like you and wish they had your physique and wish they had everything that you had. And I thought that was just a brilliant way of putting it, because no matter how good a shape you're in, you're looking at somebody wishing that you could be like them. And no matter how bad a shape you may think you're in, there's somebody else in that gym who's looking at you and wishing that they could either have your confidence, have your physique, or do whatever it is that you're doing, because a lot of people's goal weight are some people's starting point. So no matter where you're at, somebody's going to be within that mix. So don't feel that you have to be intimidated. It's typically just part of the process. There's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of feelings over there because you are taking on a new endeavor, but it certainly will get easier. And then after a while, just like everything else, you're going to be completely forgetful about that time you first started in the gym and didn't even think you could do it. So that's it for this one. I hope some of these tips help you. I've seen many of these things happen from personal experience, so I know that it definitely gets better on the other end. So if you experience that, I would like to hear from you. Share a comment below, and I'll talk to you next time.